In 1981, 7 people vanished near Buffalo's abandoned train terminal. Locals whispered about a clown, but no one ever found him. That is, until a documentary filmmaker followed the tunnels and discovered why Don the Clown was never caught. Some places die with dignity. Others fester, rot, and whisper long after they've stopped breathing. The Buffalo Central Terminal didn't die. It lingered, a 17-story tombstone to forgotten grandeur rusting in the gut of East Buffalo, where the wind screamed through shattered windows and pigeons nested like parasites. The locals didn't go near it, not after what happened in the 80s. Melissa Granger, a 38-year-old documentary filmmaker with a taste for decay, ignored the warnings. She came looking for a story. What she found was a legend that had been buried in silence, choked by fear and blood. It began with a name, Don Merritt. In 1966, he had been a small-time stage actor with ambitions of grandeur and a face that didn't quite fit anywhere. Lopsided smile, crooked eyes, a jittery manner that unsettled directors and children alike. But when he painted his face white and donned the persona of Don the Delightful, something clicked. On the outside. Inside, something unraveled. He toured with the Delacroix traveling circus across the Rust Belt. By 1974, 4 members of the troupe had vanished. Animals were found mutilated in their cages, mouths forced into grins with barbed wire, their innards rearranged into grotesque balloon animals. The ringmaster, an opium-eyed man named Claude, was found crucified inside a funhouse mirror maze. His organs were removed and replaced with balloon knots and confetti. The circus disbanded. Don vanished. No one ever linked him to the Buffalo Central Terminal until 1979, when the station closed its doors. That year, 7 people disappeared near the building. One left behind a note smeared in feces and blood. He wears the face of joy but drinks the fear beneath it. Melissa arrived on Halloween Eve. She was chasing decay with a 4K lens documenting rust and ruin for a film called Forgotten Arteries. She wasn't chasing ghosts, not yet. She entered the terminal just after noon. Light filtered through the high windows like sickly molasses. Her boots echoed against the buckling marble floors as she followed schematics toward the old maintenance tunnels. A labyrinth beneath the tracks that hadn't seen daylight in 40 years. If you like the story so far, please remember to like and subscribe for more scary stories. She found the entrance behind a fallen steel filing cabinet. As she descended the rusted stairs, the air grew colder, heavy with mildew, iron, and something else. Something sweet, like rotten frosting. She flicked on her headlamp. The tunnel sprawled in every direction, wet brick walls, rusted piping, shadows that seemed to throb like open wounds. Then she heard it. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Not footsteps, not rats, rubber, clown shoes. She found the first body in a corridor flooded ankle-deep with black water. It wasn't fresh. The corpse, once a man, was nailed to the wall with rusted railroad spikes. His face had been peeled from the bone and stitched into a crude mask, now sagging and waterlogged, hung on a nearby wall like a trophy. Painted onto the wall behind the body in blood was the plea of the unfortunate past victims. Melissa vomited and turned to run but stopped dead. There was music. A scratchy recording of calliope music echoed through the tunnel, distant and warped by static. Then came the laughter. Not canned, not human. Deep, guttural, wet, like something trying to remember how to laugh through a mouth filled with teeth that weren't its own. She stumbled forward and into a vast underground chamber. It had once been a switch room, but now it was something else. The walls were covered in carnival posters, all defaced. Each clown's eyes had been replaced with sewn-on human ones. At the center was a stage. On it sat a chair. And in the chair sat Don. He didn't move as Melissa approached, unable to stop herself. Her hands trembled. Her body screamed to run, but her mind had fractured. Cracked open like an egg in a clown's hand. Don's skin looked rubbery, but it wasn't. It was stretched, tanned human flesh, stitched with surgical wire and layered in grease paint. His eyes were two different colors. His mouth, perpetually grinning, had been cut wider, stitched in place, revealing teeth that had been filed into points. He wore a child's party hat, blood-soaked. Melissa tried to whisper. He tilted his head and tried to speak, but all he did was grin. He stood, 7 feet tall. His arms hung long and limp, fingers stained with blood. On his belt, surgical tools hung from meat hooks, a scalpel, pliers, wire. She ran. But not fast enough. He didn't kill her quickly. She awoke strapped to a gurney, surrounded by the bodies of others, some alive, some twitching, all gagged with balloons shoved down their throats. A carousel turned slowly above her, lights flickering. On the walls, video screens played looping footage of old circus shows, intercut with grainy home videos of women screaming, bleeding, begging for someone not to laugh. Dawn returned wearing a new mask, her camera's lens jammed into the forehead like a third eye. He removed a tooth with pliers, then another. He whispered lullabies between screams, sang her name. Melissa, Melly Mel. Smile for the camera, Melly Mel. He painted her face with her own blood, made her laugh, or maybe she screamed. It sounded the same. Melissa was found weeks later in the parking lot, naked, dazed, smeared in clown makeup. Her lips were sewn into a grin. Her tongue had been severed. In her hands she clutched a yellow balloon. Inside it was a human eye. The footage from her camera, recovered from the tunnels, was corrupted except for the last 3 seconds. It showed Dawn, grinning into the lens, waiting, knowing that she wasn't his last victim. If you like the story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more scary stories like this.